somebody new. It's like deja vu. And when we spoke for months, what did you ever mean? And how can they say that this is love when it goes like this? We'll get in your car and you'll leave to kiss me. We'll talk for hours and lay on the backseat. And the one random night when everything changes, you won't reply on the I'm lost in the way you move, the way you feel. All you need, one kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me, possibilities. I look like all you need, one kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me, possibilities. I look like all you need, one kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me, possibilities. About me ain't no problem. Got nobody just like you right now. Tell the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you. I snooze and miss the moment you just I can't just snooze and miss the moment you just sing. But ain't nobody like you do. In the drops I ride with you, I feel like Scarface. Like the white bitch with the bob, I'll be your main one. Like human back up to my taste. Sex reminds you I'm non-violent, I'm your day one. We ain't that shit yet. It was magic, yeah. Smashing graphic, yeah. That's
You've been hiding in plain sight, then appeared. Oh, I know.
me, I guess I was a shoulder to cry on. A face on a lover with a fire in his heart. A man in the cover.
We're going to Iceland for our honeymoon, and this is the most I've ever planned for any trip, so I'm excited to share it with you. We're planning to rent a car and drive the whole perimeter of the country. Iceland is small enough that you can do this in a couple of weeks with ample stops along the way, and there is tons to see. We of course want to check out the waterfalls and volcanoes and mountains and hot springs, but in addition to that, here are some things that I'm most excited to do and see. Number one is the Katla Ice Cave, and apparently ice caves like these are formed when water from melting glaciers creates an opening in the ice. It looks spectacular and a little terrifying, which is why I'm drawn to it. Number 2 is this stunning crater lake that's surrounded by red volcanic rock. It just seems so otherworldly and logic-defying. Number 3 is the region of Vic, which has an amazing black sand beach with the most foreboding rocky cliff that I am just dying to see. This was also the spot for Bon Iver's Holocene music video. Fourth, Husavik is where the Eurovision movie starring Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams was based, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I have to see the small town where Fire Saga started. So it is our honeymoon, but we'll do our best to share our experiences with you as they unfold, so follow along for more. I got so much great feedback on my video about choosing fall boots, so I just wanted to let you know what the final verdict was. I ended up going with the About Ariane boots for a number of reasons. One being that I just really love the color and I think it's going to fill a color gap in my current shoe collection. The other thing I learned from your helpful comments was that if you have a patent leather like this and it's a real leather, it tends to actually hold up quite well over time, so that allayed some of my concerns. Totem boots were such a dream purchase, something that I had had my eye on, as I mentioned, for years, but sometimes the expectations don't fit with reality, and sometimes you just have to listen to that that feeling that's telling you maybe that something isn't right for you, even though you really want to love it. But anyway, I got so many questions about my current shoe collection that I thought I would walk you through what each of them are, so I hope you'll stick around for that. First is this Bertine boot by Acne Studios. It has a pink interior and I just love these boots so much. In fact, I was going to get them in a different color. They were kind of on my list as I was shopping for a new pair of boots this fall. What I love about these is the leather is really soft, so they were very easy to break in. They have a low heel, and the longer square toe is a profile that I feel like I could wear with almost anything in my closet. Next is this chunky lug sole boot by Gani. I live in Vancouver, for those of you who don't know, and we get a lot of rain here, so this is kind of the perfect boot to wear on one of those medium rainy days. Now the top is made of leather, so it's not fully waterproof, but I find the thick lug sole at least allows me to get around when the rain isn't too heavy. Next up are these boots by Sandro, and these are the oldest in my collection. I think I got them in 2019. Some of you noted that these are the closest in my collection to the About Ariane boots, and I would agree with that. I feel like what makes them a little bit different is the fact that they are slip-on and they're a patterned boot. And just the slight difference in color makes them, I think, wearable with different colors in my wardrobe. Moving on to flats now, these Karen Callahan loafers I've had for a couple of years. They were a bit of a pain to break in, as most loafers are with wide feet, but now they feel super comfortable. I like that they're easy to slip on and they're sort of like a classic looking loafer. I will say I had trouble with the classic kind of style of these at first though, because I'm used to having a bit more of an edgy shoe to round out my outfits. I got these GH Bass Mary Janes as a sort of counterpart to the brown Karen Callahans. Now bear with me, I know that they look kind of classic as well, but I think it's something about the black shiny leather that gives them a bit more of an edge than the brown Croc. I also just like how they pair with light colored socks. They provide a lot of contrast. Okay, hope you're still with me. These are the last pair of shoes. They're a pair of Gani slingbacks. I think you can still get these on Essence, but I got them at an end of season clearance sale from the Bay. I really love the slingback style and I don't know why I don't have more. These are a perfect little kitten heel. I wear them to work. I find they work well with jeans. My only advice is to size down so that the slingback actually fits your ankle. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the walkthrough, and I'm going to try to link all of these in my profile so you can find them for yourself. Let's play a little game of this, not that for home organization. A caveat, I'm not saying that any of these options are wrong, but certain choices over others can optimize the look and function of your home. First, avoid countertop toiletry organizers. The intention's good, but especially if you share the bathroom with guests, they end up taking up room and they put your personal items on display. Instead, I would opt for systems that you can store under the sink, or if you don't have room, a shelf with bins is a nice alternative that takes your items off display. Second, avoid open shoe shelving. These are convenient, but most of our shoes are dirty and don't match the decor, so they can end up taking away from the aesthetic of your entry. Instead, closed shoe cabinets provide an equally accessible but cleaner looking way of storing shoes. And if you do have an open shelf, you can always tuck it away inside of a closet. Last, avoid kitchen organizers that don't actually add value. Decanting is super trendy at the moment, but if you're looking for function, this might end up being a waste of money. A good example is these ceramic egg holders that are pretty much the same as the carton. Instead, I recommend that you measure your shelves and look for containers that actually help you to use the space more efficiently. Look for shelves or stackable containers, anything that can really help you to gain space. So I hope you liked this video and follow for more. Join Rob and I on our honeymoon to Iceland. That's right. After a 7-hour red-eye, we landed first thing on Monday morning and we were completely exhausted. You can't tell from Rob's face. The first thing we did was pick up our rental car and we made the rookie move of not understanding Icelandic currency and accidentally paying $900 for insurance. So we panicked and had to make a detour back to the airport to fix that. But eventually we did make it to Blue Lagoon and it was serene and relaxing and exactly what we needed after that stressful morning that we had with the insurance. From there, we drove into Reykjavik, and this is all footage of the drive-in. It's very mossy and low profile with those mountains in the distance, really stark and stunning landscape. As you can see, Reykjavik is full of quaint, narrow streets that are super walkable. So we checked into our hotel and then we headed out on foot to do some sightseeing and some shopping. And one of the things I really loved were these little greenhouses that were full of flowers, but they were also seating for cafes. It just was so cute. We forced ourselves to stay up and wander in and out of shops as late as we could so that we could get a good night's sleep and be on Iceland time. True story, this beautiful church is apparently one of the tallest structures in the country. And we ended the day with not just one hot dog, but 2 each because, well, when in Iceland. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this update and we will share more as we're able. Iceland Travel Vlog Part 3. We're still on our honeymoon in Iceland and here's what we did for the last few days. We arrived in Akureyri, which is Iceland's second largest city, and we immediately felt at home here. It's kind of an outdoorsy place, so it kind of gave us Whistler vibes. We hit up another hot spring called Forest Lagoon, which was even better than Blue Lagoon. It was less busy, it had a beautiful view, and really great fresh water instead of salt, which meant that we didn't get sticky afterwards. We stayed in a sleep pod hostel. They're kind of like private space capsules, which is as gimmicky as it sounds. Honestly, I didn't love it, but as small spacers, we thought we would give it a try. The next day, we went to Húsavík, which was the film set for the Eurovision movie, and we saw lots of familiar sights, including these little elf homes that were in the movie. But the real stunner of the day was Lake Mývatn. It was formed when a series of volcanic eruptions happened, and it made these craters everywhere. It was the most unique landscape I've ever seen. So thanks for watching. We're only halfway through our trip, so I'll keep you posted on more. Comparing the Smeg versus the Alessi toaster. So guys, no sooner did I finish making this video about how long I've had my Smeg toaster, did my Smeg toaster end up crapping out. I ended up replacing it with the Alessi toaster, so here's a comparison of the two in case you're considering getting either. In terms of the shell, both are very attractive. I would say the Smeg toaster feels more substantial and heavy than the Alessi. The Alessi is lighter by comparison. The buttons of the Alessi are to the side instead of centered on the side, which makes the Alessi a lot easier to use than the Smeg, especially if you have it against your wall like I do. In terms of features, Alessi has an extra lift feature for small or shorter pieces of bread, so you don't have to burn your hand while reaching inside the toaster. In terms of effectiveness, both seem to toast at the same speed. I usually set them both to about 2 or 3, and they seem to cook at the same sort of pace. When it comes to longevity, the jury is out on this for the Alessi one, but I will say that I had the Smeg toaster for more than 5 years. The way it died is the handle won't stay down anymore and it only toasts one side of the bread, which if you look at the reviews online, you'll see is a fairly common problem with Smeg. Now, we gave ours away before we tried to fix it, but I did find this article afterwards, which I think could be really helpful if you have the same problem. So I hope you enjoyed this video and let me know if your vote is on Smeg or Alessi. Things I'm excited for in my small apartment this fall. The first is that we can dismantle our AC and put it in the storage finally. Even though it works, I really hate the way it looks, so it's great not to have to stare at it for the next 8 months. Plus, this corner now feels so much more spacious with it gone. I'm also looking forward to more days with the blinds drawn. In the intense summer sun, we tend to keep them down for practical reasons, but now that it's cooler, I can leave them up, which makes the space feel so much brighter and more open. Last, I'm absolutely stoked for the wardrobe changeover. Since I fold my sweaters when they're in season, they can go under the bed, which means I end up having so much more space in my closet. So thanks for watching and let me know if there's anything you're excited about for fall.